reminded when Megan came in earlier, 3 years ago, Megan came to a luncheon with her father, and she was a high school senior, and I think we actually signed her. We wouldn't let her leave the room until she signed the letter. I know we have some recruits and other guests here. Would we want to introduce them? Coach McCauley, you've got a couple of gals. Why don't we meet them?
Yes, we have, they're both from Choctaw, Oklahoma, Anna Mickish and Reagan Barnes, and they'll both be signing their national number 10 this Friday.
All right.
Yeah, we have a young lady from the Dallas area, and we hope they decided before she leaves the room today.
All right, we've got a lot going on. One thing I'd mentioned, oh, I'm sorry, Archie, you have two folks too. Well, stand up and be heard.
Ethan Walker from Heritage Hall and Brian Harvey from Michigan.
All right, let's get up. All right, now we got it covered. All right, this time of year in athletics, one of our big initiatives is a canned food drive that we do every year. Last year we raised about 9,000 pounds of canned goods, which is a lot of truckloads of food that we take down to Skyline Urban Ministry. So I'd encourage you between now and December 2nd, if you think about buying a few extra cans when you go to the grocery, bring them to any athletic event, or call me or call Megan McMahon. She's really trying hard to get women's soccer to win the competition this year. I will say softball was our champion last year, is that right? And hoping to repeat that performance.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many cans you had last year?
We had 2,790 something.
All right, so if you think that we had 9,400 altogether, softball got after it. Megan, do you remember what women's soccer had?
Last year,
Yes, ma'am.
I think it was 10,000.
It was somewhere between 0 and 2,400. But if it wasn't 0, it was higher. I've been giving them a hard time for months, and they're off to a good start, but you're not done yet. Anyway, if you think about that, we sure hope that you might support us in that way. That's one way we can give back to the community. All right, enough about soccer. No, not enough about soccer. We have an important soccer match coming up this Saturday. We've just finished our regular seasons, I should say, men's and women's soccer. So here to give us an update on soccer, please welcome our head coach, Brian Harvey.
Suppose we start off with the men's program. Men had a really up and down season. We couldn't really put 2 games together or 3 games together on the bounce, just like I feel like I'm the goalkeeper there dropping that. The boys actually made it to the semi-finals and were beaten by John Brown, who we felt that we had a very good chance of beating because we just come off a tremendous victory the Saturday before. We'd beaten the number 3 team in the nation, USAO, at their field, so we felt very good about it, but again, we just couldn't put it together. So we were a 500 ball club, and that's exactly where we ended up, around about 500. We did get 2 players onto the conference team, or the All-SAC conference. We had Adam Black, who on his day was as good a player in the SAC conference as anybody, and our team captain Ryan Hunter made second team. So again, it's another rebuilding year for Billy and I, and hopefully we'll go on and we'll do better things. I keep on telling the boys I don't say anything different to the girls, you know, and they were 19 and 1, so it's maybe they just don't listen as much as the girls do. But, anyway, but before we go any further, like Billy, stand up for us, please. Billy's been with me for 16 years now. People say to me, people always say to me, oh, well, you've done tremendously well, you've won this, you've won that. None of that's possible without Billy. He really is, you know, he's like my right hand. He does a tremendous job with both the men and the women. So before we go any further, let's talk a little bit about Saturday's game. We're in the first round of the national tournament. We play at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon at Stars Field. Play a team out of Nebraska called Drone. So please, come out and support these young ladies. It really is, it's an exciting team to watch. They really bring an awful lot to the field. They've got great camaraderie, and they've got a lot of flair, and they're 19-1 for a reason. They're very, very entertaining. We've got best defense in the NAIA, and we're very close to having the best offense. So it really is, it's a very exciting team. So please get out on Saturday, 2 o'clock at Stars Field. Girls, would you stand up, please? Thank you. The reason why these young ladies are here today is they were all selected to the SAC conference first team. Also, we had Megan McMahon, who was SAC conference player of the year, offensive player of the year. She leads the nation. She's number 3 in the nation in the NAIA, and she's number 2 in game-winning goals. So she scored 7 times to win the game for us. So that's next to her is Brenna Skillen. Brenna will be the 3rd time Defensive Player of the Year in the SAC conference. And I'm really pleased that other coaches could recognise her quality. She brings an awful lot to the team. On the far side is Ashley Bedford. Ashley is the #1 goalkeeper in the nation in terms of shutouts. She's had 16, and she shared those duties along with Alicia Reed, who could not be here today. She's a class. On that table also is Ali. Ali is basically our spark plug. She scored the winning goal against Oklahoma Baptist in the final at the SAC conference. She brings an awful lot to the team, great left foot, and she's also a member of the SAC conference team. And the far side is Allison, and Allison made the 2nd team, scored 17 goals as a freshman. So you can see it's a very, very attractive and exciting team, so please go on out and support the country. Any questions, please? Okay, I expect to see everybody out there on Sunday. Thank you.
Working Josh's glasses and says that he dropped it like a goalkeeper, and actually are all conference. In fact, both of our goalkeepers were 1st or 2nd team all conference. Ashley didn't appreciate that comment.
I'm talking about the boys.
The goalkeeper can be anyone. All right, we're gonna, for the first time in our history, we've had 2 runners qualify to go to the cross-country national championships, and so I thought we might quickly kind of get an update. They'll be leaving later this week. So let's welcome our head coach, Conor Holt.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, we had 2 individual qualifiers for the NAIA Cross Country National Championships this Saturday in Vancouver, Washington. On the girls' side, we had a freshman, Katrina Nolan, placed 3rd in the conference meet. She made all SAC conference with that, and she's going to be representing OCU on the women's side. And out there, a 5K, they're going to be running out there. And then on the boys' side, we had Arya Barani, a freshman from Edmond Santa Fe. He qualified, got 8th in the conference. And then the team side of things, we had our best finish on the team side. We had the girls finished 3rd in the conference meet and 10 points out of 2nd. And it's kind of pretty cool to see, like OBU, who won the conference meet, they're ranked 7th in the country. And then Rogers State, who got 2nd, they're ranked 32nd in the country. So we were only 10 points behind Rogers State. And then on the boys side, we got 4th in the conference. Top 3 teams were OBU, who are ranked 4th in the nation, and then Wayland Baptist are ranked 7th, and then Lubbock Christian are ranked 17th. So very competitive conference, but we're pretty excited about the future here, obviously, and we're pretty excited to see what those 2 individuals do out at the NAIA national meet. So and then once we get through with that, then we pile on the cans, see if we can do well with the can drive, and then the rest of the kids are pretty pumped and excited for the track season coming up. So any questions at all? Outstanding. All right, thank you.
All right, fall brings with it the start of basketball season. We had a homecoming last week on campus, and homecoming's just kind of a flurry of activity, including soccer matches. But we started basketball season. We played women's basketball tonight at 6 o'clock. So our coach, Latricia Trammell, is with her team. They have their shoot-around going on right now. But we have our men's coach here to kind of give us a preview and a look ahead of what we're doing in men's basketball. So please welcome Dionne Phelps.
First of all, I want to say thank you guys for coming. One of the things with the women's soccer program, I haven't had a chance to get with you, Coach, to tell you this. I think it was last year when I would go work out. I just want to let you know that every time I would show up, you had 3 young ladies that would be in there almost every day consistently. And I would tell Jack, I was like, there's something special about these young ladies. Every time they were in there, they were really focused, they pushed each other, they had a certain kind of drive. And as coaches, you've seen that before, where you see kids in the summertime who really buy in and who really believe in what they're trying to do, and they hold other people accountable. And that day, I was the only person in there from our basketball program was in here, and I was sitting there thinking, God, I wish I had 2 guys in here doing exactly what these young ladies are doing. So it's no surprise to me what you guys are doing. Absolutely not. They've done a great job, and they deserve exactly what they're doing. So now basketball. So far, we played 3 games. We are still in that process of trying to find out who we are and our identity. One of the things that I've always talked to our guys about is that when we hit the floor that we were going to compete and play as hard as we can. We are going through a point right now where we played 3 games, we've won 2, we lost to UCO at our place. Most of the reason what's happening right now is we're starting off these games a little slow. And we're finding ourselves behind about 10 or 12 points, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, we dig our way out of it and we find an opportunity to win, which is a positive thing, is to be able to fight yourself through some adversity as we go through and try to learn who we are as a program. We've had some highlights. I thought the UCO game, I thought we were down, we fought back into it, we tied the game up, we had an opportunity to actually win it. Shot goes in, we win, I look like a genius and the player looks like he's great. Shot doesn't go in, I take the blame. Which is okay, but the thing is that we went out there and we tried to compete. We had about 5 guys, 5 new guys who were trying to learn the system, trying to learn me, and I think we're getting that way, getting in the right direction. I don't think we're there all the way, so we go to UCO again on Saturday, and it may split your time. I know you may have seen on the website that the game is at 7, it's actually at 2. But if you do split your time, please make sure you support these women, and we would love to have your support also. And then after that, we come back and we go over to Langston, and we play over at Langston on the 20th. And that game is at 7:30. If you guys have any questions or anything like that for me? Another highlight, I think Charlton Jones was Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago, and he's also leading the conference at 8.3 assists a game. So some areas where I'd like to see us at the top is definitely our team defense and some defensive areas. But we're going to get there, you can believe that. So we practice pretty much every day at 6 in the morning, but today we won twice. So you can tell I didn't like practice this morning. So we'll be back there after the girls' game. We will be back in the gym, trust me. So, you guys have any questions? All right, thank you very much.
Well, it is important to point out practice schedules for us. It's just really a challenge. Obviously, our students come to OCU to be students first, and any given day, cheerleading, women's basketball, volleyball is now done, but the practice schedules for us are far from traditional. When I went to college, you took class from 8 to noon, you practiced from 1 to 3 or 4 or whatever, and I know women's basketball practices at 4:30 or 5 in the morning, 2 or 3 times a week, and cheerleading is in there quite a bit, and Coach Phelps. So it's important to know just some of the challenges, and one of the real challenges in our life is managing time and practicing around class schedules and all those kinds of things. We have time for one more update, and I'm going to ask our wrestling coach to come and give us an update. Women's wrestling season runs through about the end of January, and the men's wrestling season runs a little bit longer till about March. So we're just kind of getting started into men's wrestling. But here to give us a little bit of an update on wrestling, let's welcome our head coach, Archie Randall.
About time was running, but it didn't. But I got notes, so I'm good. I'm good. Men's season just started. We went to our first two tournaments. The first tournament was the OCU Open, which our numbers doubled from last year, from about 150 to about 250. It's hard to place at our tournament. Our tournament is probably one of the toughest tournaments we wrestle because we have OSU and OU there. OSU won 4 weights, OSU won 4 weights, and we won 1 weight. But at the tournament itself, we placed 8 and we had 3 in the finals. We lost 2 of the final matches. So they wrestled pretty well. Then our next tournament we went to was in Bethany, at the Bethany Swede tournament in Lindenburg, Kansas, I think. Lindenburg, Kansas, someplace in Kansas. But it was our first tournament that we went to that was an NAIA tournament. We wrestled really well there. At that tournament, we placed 6, but we had 4 finalists and 3 champions. So the men's team has come along pretty good. Our first duel will be Thursday against Central Baptist. Our first home duel will be the 28th against Bacone. So the men's season has just started, and the team's just starting to gel together. And I think probably by January, when we get everybody in the lineup, then we're going to be pretty solid. We're going to have a good shot to make a run at it. The girls program, on the other hand, is in full swing. Our national championship is the 28th. We just got back from Missouri Valley, which had the tournament had maybe 160, 170 girls in it. And at that tournament, out of the 22 girls we took, we placed 19 of them. And I don't know how many weights we won, Coach. We won a bunch of weights. The tournament before that, we went to Jamestown. We took 22 girls, and we placed 20 at that one. So 2 of the girls in place. So the girls team is doing real well. We came into the season ranked number 2, and at our dual tournament, which is something we just started, and we anticipated 24 teams there. We still had 16 teams there. We did meet King in the finals. King is the #1 team. We put a mud stomping on them. That's what I call it. We beat them 26-10. We should have shut them out. So the girls are wrestling really well, so we still remain undefeated for the last, how many years, Rich? 3? We haven't lost a duel in 3 years, and they're pretty excited. They're working real hard. We're fixing to go to Ontario, Canada this week to the Hairy Guys and wrestle the Canadians and see how we do up there next week. Their next home duel will be December the 6th. They'll have Wayland Baptist here at home. You need to come out and watch the girls and the guys wrestle. The girls are real exciting. You need to come out and watch them wrestle. Any questions? Thank you.
having a deal the 21st?
No. Well, that's supposed to be, the 21st is supposed to be against the 2 Lindenwood schools, Bellevue and Lindenwood in St. Charles, and they're having some issues right now. We don't know if that's going to happen or not yet.
Okay.
Everybody likes us to go to their place and wrestle, but they don't much want to come down here no more. They'd rather just take their beating at home. Thank you.